Welcome to This Explainer. Look, if a move to South Florida is on your radar, you probably already know that finding the right community is about the lifestyle and the overall vibe just as much as the house itself. Today, we're diving deep into the 2026 Davie Relocation Guide. We're going to compare 5 absolutely distinct neighborhoods, looking closely at price ranges, unique lifestyle amenities, and the town-wide safety statistics detailed in the guide to really help make sense of your options. Okay, let's dive into this. Before we even start looking at houses, you've got to understand the foundational philosophy of this town. The guide calls it rural by design. See, Davie isn't just another concrete suburb. Spanning 35 lush square miles, this town made a very deliberate, historic choice to preserve its Western heritage and open land, even amidst South Florida's rapid and, let's face it, sometimes chaotic coastal development. While neighboring communities transitioned into dense high-rises, Davie aggressively protected its agricultural roots. So it's completely normal here to see one street that feels like a traditional, quiet cul-de-sac, while the very next street requires you to maintain a literal horse trail. It's a place where backyard barns and acreage are actually protected by law.
Here is our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at town-wide safety statistics. Then, value and family communities, followed by nature and elevation living. Next up is ultra-luxury gated estates, and we'll wrap up with the 2026 market comparison.
All right, let's jump right into Section 1, Town-wide Safety Statistics.
Is the ultimate #1 concern for any relocating family, right? Is Davie, Florida actually a safe place to plant roots? When you're looking at a massive metropolitan area of over 5 million people in the Miami-Fort Lauderdale zone, well, you need data-driven answers, and the guide definitely provides them.
So the crucial point is this staggering statistic. Davie's violent crime rate is a massive 36% lower than the Florida state average. That is a really substantial figure, and it provides immediate reassurance and context for buyers looking to relocate to Broward County.
Expanding on that data, Davie actually ranks in the 74th percentile nationally for safety, earning a very solid B+ safety grade. Basically, it's safer than nearly 3/4 of U.S. cities. This macro-level security, combined with a dedicated police force of over 200 officers serving its 106,000 residents, illustrates exactly why families are bypassing the dense concrete sprawl of East Broward. They're coming here for 35 square miles of lush, secure suburban living.
Moving right along to Section 2, Value and Family Communities.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it visually anchors the entry-level market for 2026. We've got Ivanhoe starting at a median entry of $650,000, Forest Ridge at $750,000, and Shenandoah right at $850,000. In a South Florida real estate market that honestly often feels completely out of reach, this proves that establishing a family footprint in an A-rated school zone is still highly attainable here.
The guide contrasts 2 of these fantastic family-first neighborhoods so you can start figuring out your personal vibe. First, we have Ivanhoe. It's a massive, diverse community really centered around water and parks. A true outdoor recreation hub offering incredible affordability and top-rated public school zoning like Fox Trail Elementary. Then we have Shenandoah. Known as the heart of Western Davie, it offers a great mix of vintage and newer homes with a really distinct rural meets suburban blend. That's largely because it sits right next to Oak Hill, which is one of Davie's most heavily equestrian-oriented pockets. To really paint a vivid picture of what a weekend in Shenandoah looks like, the guide highlights some key perks. The absolute crown jewel is Shenandoah Park. Just imagine the kids hitting the splash pad on a hot Saturday. Maybe your teenagers are at the roller hockey rink or the baseball fields, while you take the Shenandoah Park Trail, a beautiful, winding, tree-covered path that is literally perfect for a morning run. It is a vibrant, genuinely active community.
That brings us to Section 3, Nature and Elevation Living.
Welcome to Forest Ridge. You know, according to the guide, this is way more than just a neighborhood. It's a literal landmark. It sits on a prehistoric ridge, which provides actual elevation, something almost unheard of in the flat South Florida landscape. Spanning over 150 acres with this stunning, mature oak canopy, it features Mediterranean style, 8 lighted tennis courts, and direct trail access right into the wetlands of Treetops Park. For nature lovers who want to be nestled under shade trees rather than palm trees, this is the ultimate sanctuary.
But it's not just the beautiful trees drawing people here, it's the schools. Incredible parental involvement keeps Forest Ridge Elementary perennially top-rated within Broward County. And that intense demand, it completely drives the zip code. While standard homes offer fantastic value, those custom estate homes built on the higher elevations of the ridge, we're talking places with 20-foot ceilings and expansive marble decks overlooking the preserves, they are pushing outlier prices up into the $2.2 million range.
Let's move to and see how this builds in Section 4, Ultra-Luxury Gated Estates.
Now we're entering the highest echelon of the 2026 Davie market. But even at the peak of luxury, buyers face a distinct choice between two absolute titans. Long Lake Ranches offers these grand, expansive models built by GL Homes on massive builders' acres. It's incredibly popular with young CEOs and professional athletes. Conversely, Stonebrook Estates is a boutique community focused entirely on ultra-custom architecture. You absolutely will not find cookie-cutter homes there. It's all about bespoke builds and state-of-the-art home automation.
Let's zoom in on Long Lake Ranches for a second. The guide details this as a 24-hour guard-gated masterpiece. Imagine pulling into a sweeping driveway on a 35,000 square foot lot. That's nearly a full acre of land. The homes here, featuring models elegantly named the Renoir and Van Gogh, range up to 7,200 square feet under air. With private clubhouses, Hartrue tennis courts, and surprisingly low relative HOA fees, it offers a sprawling, luxurious alternative to the much tighter, congested enclaves down in Miami.
And then there's the sheer, jaw-dropping scale of Stonebrook Estates. We are talking about architectural marvels that often exceed 10,000 square feet under air. Prices here climb steadily from $3 million up to $6 million for these modern, completely bespoke builds. It is designed for buyers who demand absolute uniqueness and world-class private amenities in a newer build.
Which brings us to our final segment, Section 5, the 2026 Market Comparison.
And this brilliantly illustrates what I like to call the ultimate master cheat sheet for your relocation decision. Go ahead and take a mental screenshot of exactly where your budget meets your lifestyle. For entry to mid-range recreation, Ivanhoe sits comfortably at $650,000 to $1.1 million. Want elevation and trees? Forest Ridge spans $750,000 to $2.2 million. Looking for that classic suburban family community? Shenandoah is $850,000 to $1.4 million. And if you are stepping up into the luxury tier, you're looking at Long Lake Ranches starting at $2.8 million, or the custom grandeur of Stonebrook Estates peaking right around $6 million.
Now you might be wondering, why does this all matter from an investment standpoint? Well, Davie is a premier educational hub, home to the South Florida Education Center, which includes campuses for Nova Southeastern University and Florida Atlantic University. Davie attracts a massive, steady population of graduate students and professors. Having this kind of major institutional anchor means steady demand. It keeps the rental market and property values exceptionally resilient, even when the broader economy shifts.
So we come to the end of our journey, leaving us with one really provocative question. Hills, trails, or guarded estates? Which Davie lifestyle is going to define your 2026 move? Will it be the prehistoric ridge of Forest Ridge, the equestrian trails over near Shenandoah, or the sprawling, pristine lawns of Long Lake Ranches? The options outlined in the guide are just as wonderfully diverse as the community itself. Thanks for hanging out with me on this explainer.